Welcome back into Municipal Stadium here in Waterbury, Connecticut. Game 2 of our CACC Conference doubleheader, and it's Brennan Holligan on the bump for the Eagles. In Game 2, the junior out of Las Vegas, Nevada, gets us started against Justin Egner. First pitch for Holligan. Dots the outside corner, and so that's good positive momentum to get game number 2 started off with. It was a 13-8 victory for the Jefferson University Rams in Game 1, a game that was tied at the end of 7 innings of regular inning play. 9 spot put up in the top of the 8th inning by Jeff Yu, including a 3-run home run by Josh Lopez. Joshua Lopez had himself a 3-hit game as well. With that win, that one missed outside. Brennan was trying to apply the tag there on a ball that was called a ball outside. But Brennan locked in, ready to start here. Egner went 3 for 5. Walked in his first at bat. This one to Cornwell. Low hop. Cornwell stays low, throw across the diamond, and gets Egner by a couple of steps. 1 batter, 1 out, and I think all of us here appreciate that as the Eagles, they were cruising right along in game number 1. Let's go back to that. In fact, across the 2 pitchers, Bem and Seaman, the innings 5, 6, and 7, no runs scored, really, I think 4 hits in total. It turned into a pitcher's duel. Then all of a sudden, offense out of nowhere, and it's just nice to see, to remind ourselves that this Eagles team, they can get batters out in their own regard. So it's a ground out to short for Egner, and now Chris McLean. He went 2 for 4 in game number 1. He started out his afternoon with a pair of walks. Also mixed in a sacrifice fly into that mix. Some of these Rams, 2 more trips to the batter's box than the Eagles, especially because of that crooked number in the 8th inning. Holligan coming into action today with a 4-2 record. This is his 11th appearance on the year, just his 4th start. He has gone 33 innings, so plenty of distance for him on those starts. Missed wide on that, so it's 2-2 here to Chris McLean. That one's slapped at into center field, and it will drop down in front of Michael Pavlicek. A little bit of a personnel switch for the Eagles, but not much of one. Danny Gill, he's still in, just like Michael Pavlicek. But Pavlicek now in center field. He got moved over from right, and they put Danny Gill in right. Here's Josh Lopez, huge smile on his face, and can you blame the guy? Only 1 hit in game number 1, but my goodness, a hit to remember. A 3-run tank way out into the woods in left field. For his team-leading 17th dinger of the season, it puts him second in all of Division II baseball now with 17 home runs. That one over for a strike. Worth noting, though, that aside from that home run, Josh Lopez was held in check. He struck out once. He grounded into a double play. A couple other lazy outs. And so you want to make the point that it was Nick Seaman really having his number. And then when we got to where we got to with Galvin coming into the game at that point, yeah, that was a prime matchup for Lopez. But with your top-end pitchers there, they were able to take care of number 24. And so the hope here for Coach Skold is that Holligan has some stuff to contend against Lopez. This is an off-speed pitch. It's hit pretty deep to right. Gill back, settles under it about 20 feet in front of the warning track. McLean tempted that to kind of tease that tag up there, but nothing serious. He's back. And back to Marquise Wood in the cleanup spot. Wood was the right fielder in game number 1. We'll wait and see if they have him in the infield or staying in the outfield. He's listed as a utility player. My memory serves me correct. He didn't move at all once the game got started. He was out in right field the whole time. But he's a player with his fielding stats would show that he sees the ball more than a regular outfielder. So one of the few players that you could see anywhere on the diamond this afternoon. That pitch from Holligan misses inside. Holligan's numbers get even better when you go into the advanced metrics. He has allowed 15 runs, but only 10 of them earned. He has allowed 31 hits, but he struck out 35 batters, and he's only walked 15. So, I'll be trepidatious and even knock on wood right in front of me here when I say this. Control hasn't been an issue for Brendan Holligan. And with that 2.73 ERA, not much has been. That one misses wide, and so Wood probably auto-taking here ahead in the count 3-0. Chris McLean on base at first with the lone hit of this inning up to this point. McLean and Egner just keep on keeping on. That is now the 6th hit today, because McLean had 2 in game number 1, Egner with 3, for the sophomore-freshman duo out of Hatfield, Pennsylvania. They both went to North Penn High. That's in Lansdale, Pennsylvania, but I'll educate everybody here. Me being from the Philadelphia area, that's the only school district in suburban Philadelphia that combines multiple town grids and townships to form their school district. So there's actually 5 towns that all feed into North Penn High School. If you're scheduled up against them come football playoff time in those 6A playoffs, good luck. And their baseball team, also a top contending team year in and year out. And so Jeff U, they kept it close to home. That's 25 minutes up the road, and here they are at the top of their order. Wood, he had the auto take for all 6 pitches there, and he finally does draw the walk. And so it's going to be a big opportunity for Joshua Lopez back again here in the 5th hole. So Josh Lopez is in his senior year. This, Joshua Lopez, a sophomore. And I have to wonder if there was a conversation at all between head coach Pat Horvath or maybe the rest of the Rams coaching staff telling Josh, hey, we got a great kid looking to come and join the team here. Do you have any nicknames that you go by? Maybe they love it. It's rare when you have 2 players with just the same name on the team, but let alone 2 of your top players. Joshua Lopez hitting 355, Josh Lopez hitting 340, and Joshua charges this one to center field. It sends Pavlicek back. On the run, it's over his head. McLean's going to come around and score. Wood right behind him. He gets sent. The throw not even in from Cornwell, and it's a 2 RBI double for Joshua Lopez. And the Rams picking up right where they left off. It was 9 runs scored in the top of the 8th inning. 2 more here in the top of the 1st. That hit for Joshua Lopez puts him up to 41 on the season. Now 3 different Jeff U Rams over the 40-hit plateau. Team high, 12 doubles now for Joshua Lopez. And he waits off the bag at second. Holligan delivers to Silva. So we're going to find out soon enough here, Jack, whether or not Gabe Silva will be the starting pitcher in today's contest. He's right back in the lineup. This is the same lineup we saw from Jeff U up to this point in game number 1. 0-1 pitch, dots the outside corner. Nice to see Holligan showing some mental mettle after allowing that big blast to Lopez over the head of Pavlicek to deep center field. He's 1 strike away from getting out of the top of the 1st. 0-2 pitch. Okay. Brennan really tried to frame that one on the outside corner. Couldn't convince the umpire to give it to him, and so we'll do it again with the count at 1-2. Gabe Silva had a big day just like a lot of the rest of the Jeff U lineup. This one's popped up towards no man's land. Gill closest to it, and Danny Gill puts the squeeze on it for the 3rd out of the inning. But 2 runs off 2 hits, no errors, 1 left on base. The Rams offense just keeps clicking here in Waterbury. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, the bottom of the 1st from Municipal Stadium. You are watching Post University Athletics on the Nest Network. Welcome back into Municipal Stadium here in Waterbury, Connecticut. Game 2 of our CACC Conference doubleheader. 2 more runs pushed across here, so that offensive momentum hasn't necessarily stopped between games 1 and 2 for Jeff U. Here's a player with some momentum, Michael Pavlicek, hitting .364 on the season. Pair of hits, pair of walks back in game number 1. Pavlicek also listed on this roster as a left-handed pitcher. Haven't seen any of that out of Michael this season. You never know, it's senior day, so who knows what might happen as this game progresses here. Could see some wacky things unfolding. We already had a wacky, zany game number 1. Pavlicek takes that one over the outside corner for a called strike. Here's the 0-1 pitch coming in from Sean Morgan, Jr. out of Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Went to Cherry Hill West High School. Sean in the middle of the pack in terms of team ERA, 6.82 coming into action today. He's making his 11th appearance on the season with a 2-2 record. And this is his 7th start, so he gets the decent amount of starts. Innings pitch makes you think he's probably more of an opener, but we thought that about Tyler Bem, and he certainly proved us wrong in game number 1. 30 1/3 innings pitched up to this point. Slap shot from Pavlicek, and it gets past Egner there at third base. In the left field for another base hit today for Michael Pavlicek, and there you go. The Eagles trying to go run for run here at Municipal Stadium. One batter, one man on board, and it brings up the shortstop, Evan Cornwell. We've seen both Pavlicek and Corchado just utilize that left-handed inside-out swing beautifully. A hitting coach's dream, a la Tony Gwynn. Don't try and do anything too much. Don't try and hit it over the fence. Put the bat on the ball, and if you do it enough, it'll get through the fielders. They've gotten rewarded quite a bit from the Pavlicek's efforts in that regard. Now Michael knotted up with Corchado and Karen, all 3 of those players sitting right now at 54 hits on the season. Cornwell doesn't swing. That one misses outside, and so the count back even at 1-1. Just like a lot of players on this Jeff U roster, Evan Cornwell, a Jersey resident. Now, he's from North Jersey, but he went down to the Philadelphia area to play some college ball at the University of Delaware before transferring back up here to Post. Jefferson University used to be called 2 school names ago, the Philadelphia College of Textiles. That was back from the 60s through the 90s. Then they spent around 25 years as Philadelphia University, home of one of the best Division II head basketball coaches of all time in Herb McGee there. Mainly Philadelphia U when he was there. And 4 years ago, they changed their name to Jefferson, or maybe 5 years ago, but a more recent name change here for Philadelphia U as they really joined forces with, actually it was Jefferson Healthcare, and added some medical programs to the school, and that garnered the name change. But the school located right on the Schuylkill River in East Falls in Philadelphia. They make the trip up here coming out of the Southern Division, and Cornwell getting the game started with a walk, and so here you go, Post University. 2 on, no outs. And the man of the hour, the man with the plan at home plate, Chris Corchado in the left-handed batter's box. First pitch from Morgan. This is Corchado's first look at a lefty this afternoon. Don't have split numbers for you here, but can only imagine with that just really simplistic approach in the batter's box here that Corchado doesn't face that many more problems from lefties than righties. That one from Morgan does dot the outside corner. Taking a look at some of the advanced metrics here for Sean Morgan. He's allowed 28 runs, 23 of them earned. This one's in a weird spot. It's a deep play in the hole for Silva at short. Across the diamond, Corchado beats out the throw, and so he'll reach safely with a fielder's choice, but save for that error in the bottom of the 8th inning, we've seen Gabe Silva play some of the most top-end defensive shortstop you can see at the D2 level. He gets the tough out at second. Gonzalez can't quite turn to, and that brings up DJ Karen with runners on the corners and 1 out. Karen got off to a hot start in game number 1. An RBI single in the first, followed by a big double off the wall on one hop in the third. Didn't get really, they only had 2 at-bats after that. Flew out and walked. And my apologies, not Karen. Brennan back in the cleanup spot here for the Eagles. My apologies. And he's catching this afternoon. Karen is in the on-deck circle, so same thing as we saw with the Jefferson Rams. Post keeping up to this point the same lineup. Morgan opting to go with the breaking ball there, and he pushes it wide outside. There's a new catcher behind the dish for Jefferson U here in game number 2. Justin Espinal is out as the designated hitter. Josh Lopez moves from behind the plate to the DH spot. And Domingo Santiago, the senior from Moca, Puerto Rico, he's behind the plate right now. How about this? We have high schools and previous schools listed for all of these players. The previous school that Santiago came from, the Carlos Beltran Baseball Academy. So it's one thing to be an up-and-coming baseball prospect from Puerto Rico. I'm assuming if you get that nod to play at Carlos Beltran's academy, you have something going for you. And the young catcher behind the plate here, he sees Brennan lift this one deep to left field. It pushes Joshua Lopez back. He catches it about 5 feet in front of the warning track. That's an easy tag for Michael Pavlicek, and he'll get this game started for the Eagles with a run scored on the sac fly. For Jimmy Brennan, that's RBI number 23 on the season, and the Eagles get one back, trailing now 2-1. First pitch from Morgan right there over the plate. I heard that walk-up music from DJ Karen, and it sounded familiar to me. Flower by Moby. That's Bryce Harper's walk-up music right there. So he picked a good player to steal it from right now, and he's looking to replicate Mr. Harper in the batter's box. Instead, swings over the top of that one, and now he's behind in the count 0-2. It's Chris Corchado still on base at first. Michael Pavlicek just scored. This one. Shot into the gap here. Oh, some trouble out in right field, and you can see Karen wanted to take second. He couldn't because the runner didn't leave, but Corchado able to get the jump in time. He takes third. Karen does stay on at second, but not too much to complain about there as Karen, his third hit of the afternoon, his first of the day, and the Eagles a real chance to either tie this one up and take the lead, and it's mound visit time here for Mr. Morgan. So it's Justin Rivera now, an opportunity to do some damage here. We've seen runs from both teams in this first inning of game number 2. Eagles trailing 1-2. Rivera, a 2-hit day in game number 1. That one pushes him off the plate. Justin came into action hitting .276, and he laces that one over the head of the shortstop, Silva, and into center field. Another hit for Justin Rivera. It's an offensive explosion for him, and we are knotted back up at 2 apiece here in the bottom of the first. First pitch swinging for Rivera, and you love to see that too. There's something about when a team opts to take a mound visit, and then you can just jump on that first pitch and go, listen, Sean, you might have been thinking a lot about that pitch. I wasn't at all. I was ready for it. Rivera jumps on it, slaps it over the head of Silva. RBI on the play, and now back-to-back run-scoring plays Now Jalen Kelly. He had a pair of RBI singles in game number 1, including an infield single that knotted the game up at 4 apiece in the bottom of the 4th inning. At that moment, it felt like the momentum was theirs, and instead, no runs came across as the game progressed until we made it to extras. He keeps the bat on his shoulders there, and that one does catch the outside corner. It took Holligan 23 pitches to get out of the top of the 1st inning, and this is number 23 for Morgan right here, and there you go. He gets Kelly swinging. That's a hard player to strike out, just the 9th time this season, but Kelly goes down, and that will bring us into the 2nd. Offense from both sides, and we'll head to the top of the 2nd with this game tied at 2 apiece. Here's our first look at the dish for Diego Santiago. So let's see if the recruiting eye of the Carlos Beltran Baseball Academy comes to fruition on the field. Santiago, not an everyday starter, but Diego is making his 18th start of the season in 22 games. Oh, and a diving stop there. Keller can't grab it, and there you go. There's a hit on demand for Diego Santiago. His 16th of the season, but that'll let his average continue to climb, and they set the table again with an early runner here in the top of the 2nd. Alex Gonzalez batting 8th in this contest. The team's starting second baseman. I want to say Gonzalez probably the clutchest player for Jeff Ewan. He lays down a picture-perfect bunt. Will Corchado get the out in time? Yes, he does. Great job by Hunter Keller to get himself over to the bag. It does move the runner Santiago over, and so he's in scoring position with 1 out. But a big first out of the 2nd inning here, recorded by the Eagles. Jordan Tibercio. Two hits, 1 in the 1st inning, 1 in the 8th inning. Just kind of bookending a nice night. Down at the bottom of the order here for the center fielder. He's back there again, and he takes this one high for ball 1. Santiago on at second actually has attempted 5 stolen bases this season, 3 for 5 in his attempts. That pitch catches the outside corner, and so Tibercio back even now. Both pitchers took them 23 pitches to get out of the 1st inning. Holligan has since allowed another hit. That one late swing, fouled back, and chance for a put-away here as he's ahead of Tibercio, 1-2. This is only the 36th plate appearance of the season for Jordan Tibercio. He does have 8 strikeouts so far. 1-2 pitch from Holligan. That one bounced in. The runner takes a second before deciding to go, but once again, that backstop very far away, and so Santiago, really, he had all the time in the world to get himself to third. He's there safely, and now Holligan and Brennan needing to be extra careful with Santiago over there at third. The Eagles scratched and clawed to tie the game back up at 2 apiece, but the leadoff single for Santiago, and already he's on at third with just 1 out. This one will not get, yes, it will. It'll drop right in front of DJ Karen. He laid it on the line. The ball was in his glove, and that's the second time we've seen that. The actual contact with the grass, popping the baseball out of the glove. So that's the third hit of the afternoon for Tiber Seo. It's his second RBI base hit. And how about the bottom of the order delivering for Jeff Yu as Tiber Seo slaps that one in the left fielder, lines it hard, and he just gets it down in front of DJ Karen, giving the Rams back the lead. It's 3-2 Jeff Yu. Strike taken on the outside quarter here for Justin Egner. And a slight adjustment to his batting handle, it looks like, right there. Egner goes batting gloves free for game number 2, and he reaches out on this one and lifts it lazily to right field. Back there is Danny Gill as Pavelchak and Gill swapped between center and right, and Gill squeezes it for the second out. We've seen a couple of tough plays there on ground balls, line drive, balls on a line sent in to Danny Gill, but he's made a couple of nice plays on deep flies out in right already this afternoon. Let's see if they test Pavelchak at all out in center. Runner off at first is Tiber Seo. First pitch swinging for McLean. Cornwell dives out across the diamond, and it does pull Corchado off the base. Evan Cornwell did everything but get that out, and not necessarily a speedster in Chris McLean, but he doesn't let that ball get into the outfield. And so runners on at first and second, but nothing worse than that. Unfortunately, here you go, Brendan Holligan. It's Josh Lopez, and you know what he's capable of. Lopez just 1 of 6 this afternoon, but the one, my goodness, it was a big blow. A 3-run home run in the top of the 8th inning of game number 1. So Holligan waiting for the sign from Brennan, delivers. Tries to spin an off-speed pitch in. Holligan looks back at second. Tiber Seo. Oh, they had him, and then it was just a late throw back to second. It was almost as if Holligan was shocked that Tiber Seo got caught off the bag like that, and they almost pull off the pickoff play. It's kind of butterflies in your stomach now every time a pitcher throws back to second after what happened to Nate Bird back in the top of the 8th inning, but Tiber Seo almost caught with his hand in the cookie jar. 1-0 pitch to Josh Lopez. That one misses low. And so instead of maybe stealing the final out of the inning, now Brendan Holligan has to lock in behind in the count 2-0 to Josh Lopez. 17 RBIs, only one player in Division II baseball with more, 17 home runs, my apologies. That one well out in front of by Lopez, and he fouls it back, making the count 2-1. But 18 home runs right now, that's the mark to lead all of Division II, and you have to think right now is an opportunity Lopez might be looking for a pitch to drive. We've seen Holligan, 2 of the 3 pitches in this at-bat have been off speed. Big swing there. It's popped up back ever so slightly. It will get over the backstop and out of play, and the count back even at 2-2. It looked like Tiber Seo, I don't think that was the same type of hit and run that we saw Jeff Yu execute back in the latter half of game number 1. It was a perfect hit and run. Egner was at the bat, and it was Tibercio was the runner on the play. He was running on that play, but I think it was just a reaction to the swing. 2-2 with 2 outs. Big swing, and they get Lopez out in front of the off-speed pitch. So, Jefferson U answers the 2 spot by post with a run of their own, but Holligan leaves 2 stranded. We'll head to the bottom of the second. Some more offense early here in game number 2. Rams 3, Eagles 2. So welcome back in here to Municipal Stadium. This is game 2 of a CACC doubleheader. Your post-Eagles hosting the Jefferson University Rams. It was Jefferson U victorious in 8 innings by a final score of 13-8, not a typo. And we've seen a lot more offense here as already 5 combined runs across the first inning and a half. Sean Morgan out here for his second inning of work. Him and Brendan Holligan pitched identical lines in the first inning. 2 runs on 3 hits. They both threw 23 pitches, and 14 of those 23 pitches were strikes. Now, Holligan did allow another run in the top of the second, but he worked much quicker. Only 12 pitches to get him out of trouble. And you know Morgan and the rest of the Rams dugout want the same thing for number 56 here. Count is even to Hunter Keller. Oh, that one just off the outside corner in spite of the Santiago frame job. After Keller, it's Danny Gill, and then back up to the top of the order, and Michael Pavelchak. 2-1, big swing there for Keller, and he comes up empty. Hunter Keller on the season exactly at 200 on the year, riding the Mendoza line. He has 21 hits in his 105 at-bats, 7 RBI. 2-2, that breaking ball can't quite pull it back over the outside corner, and so Keller showing a good eye. Count is full at 3-2. Hunter just 8 walks on the season. And he comes up empty there, a big swing and a miss on the 3-2 pitch. Keller strikes out for his 11th time on the year, and it's back-to-back Ks for Sean Morgan. He got Jalen Kelly swinging to end the bottom of the first. Puts Hunter Keller down here to end, or to get inning number 2 started. So Danny Gill rounds out the bottom of the order, first pitch swinging, and he's just a tad late on that one. Lifts it deep, out of play foul down the right field line. Gill in a similar spot to Hunter Keller. He's still under the Mendoza line. Saw him slap a base hit in that rally for the Eagles back in the bottom of the 8th inning. Oh, that's tough. That one is fouled straight back, and it's off the quad there of Diego Santiago. You can see him kind of reaching down to the hip, and love to see the umpire here looking out for the catcher who he's going to work with, although Santiago motioning to the umpire, hey, I'm good, I'm okay, let's get right back at this over here. Actually, doing some lip reading right now, you can see the conversation between Santiago and the umpire, the home plate umpire. He thought that ball hit Santiago in that delicate region that catchers always have to be careful about right there. To me, it looked like it was off his quad and the outside of his hip, and that's where he was pointing to. And I think he was trying to communicate, hey, we didn't need to stall out the game like that. I'm okay. Tough play and a great play made by Chris McLean down the right field line. He's about 100 feet away from first base at that point, maybe more, falling backwards. And look, all that would be a foul ball, but it robs Danny Gill out of that AB, and it's the second out of the inning as Pavlicek comes back up. So Michael Pavlicek, 1-for-1 in game number 2. 3 hits in total on the game, on the day today. And that first pitch from Morgan misses inside. If Morgan can retire Pavlicek right here, wouldn't that be just what the doctor ordered? Took him 23 pitches to get out of trouble. And he did allow 2 runs in the process in the bottom of the first. This will be his 35th pitch of the contest here. 2-0 all the way to Pavlicek. Huge swing. Oh, Pavlicek fouled it straight back. He gave that the extended follow-through, too, as if he was watching it follow down over the right field fence. Instead, he comes up underneath it and fouls it straight back. So the count at 2-1. Morgan misses that one up and in, and Pavlicek has himself a hitter's count here. Bases are empty as Hunter Keller led off this inning with a swinging strikeout. And then Danny Gill just victimized by Chris McLean on a pop-up down the first base line. As McLean, he ran to his left, then backwards, then reached out, made the over-the-shoulder catch. 3-1 late swing there from Pavlicek. It was over the plate. Puts bat to ball, but sends it out of play. So we'll do it again here. This time the count now full. This will be the 38th pitch of the inning for Sean Morgan. Little late offer by Michael Pavlicek, and he puts bat to ball there. You could hear, I think that was the Jeff U dugout kind of with the wry comment of ball 4, noting that Pavlicek still offered at it, but that keeps the AB alive for one more pitch. Remember, it only took Brendan Holligan 13 pitches, even though he faced 5 batters, to get out of the top of the second, and that number will extend to 40-plus now as Morgan walks Pavlicek after that extended AB. Cornwell back to the plate for the Eagles. He's a switch hitter, so now on the right side against the lefty Sean Morgan. Cornwell walked his first time up. Big swing there on the first pitch for Cornwell. Could see maybe more of a powerful approach here from what is for most players the natural side of the plate, the right-handed swing. Cornwell put a lot into that one. He came up empty. Morgan, 0-1 pitch. Another one dots that outside corner, kind of low and away. He's ahead of Cornwell now, 0-2. Cornwell, a .323 hitter on the season, but he does struggle with the strikeout. He leads the Eagles with 24 on the year. 0-2 pitch from Morgan. Oh, cuts back inside beautifully, and he sits down. Evan Cornwell looking. Sean Morgan, he's allowed 2 runs, but he struck out 3 batters through the first 2 innings. Eagles come up empty in the bottom of the second, and we head to the top of the third with Jefferson up by 1. It's 3-2. So we're back here in the top of the third inning. Marquise Wood getting us started here. Back in right field this afternoon for the Rams. The only player listed on their roster as a utility player. And so I thought maybe with this being a doubleheader, we might have one of those fun games where he tries to hop around every part of the field possible. He struck out 3 times today, so he goes first pitch swinging there, and he hits it a mile high. Cornwell, a couple of steps to his right, puts the squeeze on it. And that's the first out of the inning. Holligan's got to love to see that. It took him 23 pitches to get out of the first. He only threw 12 in the second in spite of allowing a run. And how about this? 1 pitch, 1 out, and here comes Joshua Lopez. Lopez, the big blow in the top of the first inning for Jefferson, a 2 RBI double. That followed up a 3-hit game for the sophomore in game number 1. So today alone, Joshua Lopez is 4 of 6, make it 4 of 7 as he cue balls that right off the end of the bat. He's standing there in denial as Chris Corchado had it read beautifully, and that's a great snare with the glove. That's 3 pitches, 2 outs here for Brendan Holligan, so making quick work of the Rams here in inning number 3. So back to Gabe Silva. He flew out in his first time up. He's trying to sneak a bunt past Holligan. He had it read all the way. How about a 4-pitch inning for Brendan Holligan, just what the doctor ordered? 3 batters up, 3 batters down, and we head to the bottom of the third with the Rams leading by 1. It's Jefferson U3, Post University 2. Chris Corchado leading us off here in the bottom of the third inning. It was tough sledding for Brendan Holligan in the top of the first. He allowed 2 runs on 3 hits, and it took him 23 pitches to get out of trouble. Only 12 pitches in the top of the second. Only 4 in the top of the third, and so the man's still under the 40-pitch plateau. Probably the best place you could be in spite of having already allowed 3 runs. But he's got the middle of the order here, 3, 4, 5, due up for Post. And it's Chris Corchado back even on the count with Morgan 1-1. The real question here is Sean Morgan, his 10 appearances, his 6 starts of the season have combined to 30.1 innings pitched. Are they going to let him attempt to go the distance here? Well, when you get some good defensive help like he's been getting from Gabe Silva, it makes it that much easier. We saw Corchado rob Joshua Lopez back in the bottom of the second, and Silva just robs Corchado to start off the top of the third. Jimmy Brennan due up here for the second time today. He reached, sack fly to advance the runners his first time up. That one on the outside corner. And Brennan behind in the count 0-1. That one misses wide, so we're even again at 1-1. Morgan has very good command on the season. He's thrown 29 strikeouts coming into action, 32 strikeouts now after the 3 he's already thrown, and he countering those 32 strikeouts with just 1 walk. 1-2 pitch coming to Jimmy Brennan. It misses high, and we're back even at 2-2. Brennan was in the middle of a lot of action in game number 1. He struck out looking in the first, which kind of sparked off a series of tense moments between both teams and the umpiring crew. He's all over that ball, but he's about a half of a second too early on it and fouls it 350 feet into the softball field down the left field line. So we'll do it again, this time even at 2-2, and a chance for a Sean Morgan put away. And wow, Brennan's so far out in front of that one. It's smothered by Egner across the diamond, and he gets the out at first. Jimmy Brennan robbed right there. If it's a lesser third baseman, no way they're able to follow up after that tough hop. But Egner, and he's a true freshman too, made that one look easy. Brennan is down, just like the script for the top of the third. 2 quick outs for Morgan here in the bottom of the third. Comes up to DJ Karen, who is in the middle of a 4-hit afternoon. 1 for 1 today with an RBI single back in the first. Oh, and Morgan took everything off of that off-speed pitch, and Karen's out in front of it, behind in the count 0-1. Morgan working quickly. That one over the plate, lifted down the line to right. It will drop out of play, foul, and it won't be caught by Wood. Marquise Wood, really, that was the only chance of anything happening on that play. It was close to the line, but it was foul all the way. And Karen earning himself a slow stroll back to the plate. So that's strike number 2 now, a chance for Morgan for yet another put away. He struck out 1 in the bottom of the first, 2 in the bottom of the second. The 0-2 pitch coming to DJ Karen. Fought off, lifted down the right field line. This one, though, McLean underneath it, and he puts the squeeze on it for out number 3. So just like Brendan Holligan's third inning, Sean Morgan's goes as smooth as possible. And quickly, we'll head to the 4th. Top of the 4th here, the Eagles of Post University 2. The Jefferson University Rams 3. More right after this quick break on the Nest Network. We're back here at Municipal Stadium into the top of the fourth, and Brennan Holligan, he's behind on the scoreboard, but he's feeling good on the bump. That was just his 40th pitch of the afternoon, as it took him just 16 pitches combined to get through innings 2 and 3. This one misses inside against Diego Santiago. Santiago led off the top of the second with a single into right field. Ultimately came around and scored. That's your difference right now in this 3-2 ball game. We've seen Holligan work extremely fast here, and that continues. That one's, wow, right down the middle. I think it came in so quick that Brendan wasn't ready to squeeze it. It pops out of his glove, but that's a problem you'll accept. So the count now 2-1. 3 strikeouts today for Sean Morgan. Holligan with 1. He got Josh Lopez swinging on a beautiful breaking ball. That one drops back down in over the plate, and a chance for maybe another one here for Brendan Holligan as the count is even at 2-2. Brennan, a Las Vegas resident from Las Vegas, Nevada. He played at the College of Southern Nevada. Breaking ball, no, doesn't catch the outside corner, and now Brennan with a full-fledged moment there with the umpire, and the umpire, I think, telling Jimmy he didn't appreciate that throw down, trying to influence the called third strike. It was right there. It was a borderline pitch. The ump doesn't give it, but another chance for Holligan. 3-2. Wow, they gave it back to him, because I'm pretty sure that the first pitch wasn't as close as that more recent one. And you can, listen, I can't blame Diego Santiago. Now, he's a catcher, so he's going to get to talk to this umpire in between innings. The strikeout is given for Holligan. It's his second. It's the first strikeout looking, and that comes at a huge time here, putting down the dangerous hitter Santiago. This is such a capable bottom half of the order for Jefferson U. And as I say that, Alex Gonzalez first pitch swinging, but it was read well by Danny Gill, and he puts the squeeze on it. Tiber Seo up here. This is a chance for back-to-back 1-2-3 innings for Holligan. And I promise this will probably be my last Bryce Harper reference, but Brendan Holligan played at the College of Southern Nevada. That's the school that Bryce Harper attended to for a year back when the MLB had those rules that you were allowed to leave and play Major League Baseball without going to college. You could go straight into the MLBs if you're drafted out of high school. Bryce Harper was still 16 and wanted to get drafted, so he went to the College of Southern Nevada for a year, and that's how he got drafted by the Washington Nationals. So there you go, a little baseball trivia from me to you, and Brendan Holligan shares the alma mater of Bryce Harper. Probably a couple other big leaguers that also went to the College of Southern Nevada, but Holligan making them proud here, working quickly, finding the strike zone this outing. This one, slapped to second, tough play for Keller to beat the speedy Tiber Seo, and he does. 2 straight 1-2-3 innings. Holligan locked and loaded all of a sudden, and the Eagles will head to the plate in the bottom of the fourth with a chance to tie this back up. Halfway through game number 2, it's Rams 3, Eagles 2. More right after this on the Nest Network. Sean Morgan on the bump for his 4th inning of work for the Jefferson University Rams, and as smooth as Brennan Holligan's outing has become, I mean, it's even smoother right now for Sean Morgan. He's ahead of Rivera in the count. Rivera lifts this one high in the air to left field. Plenty of time for Joshua Lopez to settle under it. Tibercio ventured over there, but Lopez puts the squeeze on it for an early out number 1. My goodness, both of these pitchers survived rough waters in the first inning and are just locked in. Holligan now is through 4 innings of work on 48 pitches. If you're keeping track at home, he threw 23 in the first and 25 combined across the next 3. Same story for Morgan. He's at 55 right now, 23 in the first, 32 across the next 3. He got Jalen Kelly out swinging earlier, and he's ahead of the count, 0-1 to him right now. This is game 2, if you're just joining us or if you tuned in a little bit earlier. Game number 1, a heartbreaker for a variety of reasons. Post was up 3-0. Then the game got away from them. They were trailing 4-3. They tied it back up 4-4. Then we were dueling across the 5th, 6th, and 7th with no runs. We finally hit extra innings, and what does Jefferson University do? They hang up a 9 spot in the top of the 8th to go on and win the game by a final score of 13-8. Morgan wanted that one given on the outside corner. It does seem like maybe you were getting some count-specific ball strike calls here. It extends the AB, 1 more pitch for Kelly. Here's the 60th pitch of the afternoon for Morgan. Kelly, big swing to deep center field. Tibercio back at the wall. It's off the base of the wall. It's so far out there, and Kelly got every inch of it. He'll be at second base standing with a huge double. And that might be what the Eagles needed to break up this little run here for Morgan. So it's Kelly in scoring position for Keller, the 8-hole hitter. We mentioned Hunter Keller down there at the 200 mark on the season, but he's put bat to ball for a couple of loud flyouts in game number 1. Just like Jalen Kelly, he struck out swinging to lead off the bottom of the 2nd. Oh, late swing right there. That one was there to be hit for Keller. It's fouled back into the backstop. Count is even now. Morgan comes set. Huge swing, and that one had Keller guessing as Morgan, he's shown a very good just variety in his pitches. It's not like his fastball is so much faster than anyone else's or there's that much bite on his breaking pitches, but he's been mixing them together so well. And up until that big swing right there from Kelly, it just seemed like some off-balance hitting from Post and some, haphazard swings. 4 strikeouts already for the Post offense. But a chance for Hunter Keller to deliver here. Reaches out, and he's snared by Egner. Kelly, to his credit, gets back safe and avoids the double play. But this kid, Justin Egner, they don't grow on trees like that. Third base is a very hard position to handle defensively. And in his true freshman season, we've seen him made a handful of difficult plays all look easy. Well, it looked promising, but it's down here to Danny Gill. 0 for 1 in this game. Went 1 for 4 in game number 1. Big swing, and he comes up empty. So he falls behind to Sean Morgan here, 0-1. It was a long throw across the diamond for Egner, too. My goodness, it's just... This Jefferson University team, they're just impressive, honestly, with the talent. There are some other teams that you lose games to and you go, yeah, they're put together. It's a well-crafted lineup. Nah, these guys are just big boppers and athletes. And Egner... Oh, the ball is dropped by McLean on the play. So there we go. Finally a break for Post University as it looked like Justin Egner was going to make another web gem. Not the best throw from Egner. It made it tough for McLean. And Danny Gill both reaches safely and turns the lineup back over to Michael Pavlicek. Huge opportunity for the Eagles to tie this game here with runners on the corners and 2 outs. Yeah. So Gill reaches on the error. And so Egner, unfortunately for him, he counters his highlight play with a low-light play. Tough error there, and to keep the inning alive for the dangerous Michael Pavlicek. It's senior day here for Pavlicek. Goes up the middle. It's going to be a tough play for Silva, but not that tough. He covers the bag and hops over the runner, Gill. Have yourself a day, Gabe Silva and Sean Morgan rolling right along. They made it tough on him there, but another scoreless inning. We'll head to the top of the 5th. Got a good one brewing here at game number 2. It's Rams 3, Eagles 2. We'll hop back in here. A strikeout swinging to start the top of the 5th inning. So Brennan Holligan, unfortunately, it took him about an inning and a third to find his groove, and that's why the Rams are winning 3-2. But this man has looked like the best pitcher in D2 really across the past 3 innings. It's only taken him 19 combined pitches to get through the 3 most recent innings, and now we're in the top of the 5th. It's the top of the order, and a huge K on Justin Egner, and he's looking for another one here on Chris McLean. Similar lines for both of these pitchers. They both threw 23 pitches in the first, allowing 2 runs on 3 hits. They've both been cruising ever since. Both pitchers with 3 strikeouts. 2 walks issued by Morgan, 1 by Holligan. Count even here to Chris McLean. That one had some extra zip on it from Holligan. It misses low, but that's some of the hottest velo that we have seen on a pitch so far this afternoon here. He really added something extra to that one. Let's see if he counters it with a breaking pitch here on the 2-1. He does. Little two-seam cutter. It misses inside, and now McLean in a hitter's position. Ahead in the count now, 3-1. And Chris McLean, 2 for 2 today with a single to center field and an infield single. 3-1 pitch. Big swing for McLean. Oh, he took his A1 power cut on that one, and he fouls it straight back into the backstop there. I think Holligan might have gotten away with one on that pitch, and we'll do it again now with a count at 3-2. McLean, no slouch in the power department. He's third on the team with 6 home runs. I feel like most teams that would put you at number 1 or number 2. But when you have Josh Lopez and Marquise Wood out there, it's difficult. That one inside on the hands, and Holligan issues his first walk in over 4 innings of work. And there's no rest for the weary here, as now a runner on with 1 out, and it's Josh Lopez in as the DH here in game number 2, strolling back up to the plate. Lopez, I know I've harped on this, folks, but worth mentioning. He does have 1 hit today. It's one of the farthest balls I've seen hit here at Municipal Stadium for a 3-run home run in extra innings. But he's 0 for 6 in his other 6 at-bats, including 2 strikeouts. Holligan's already gotten once this afternoon. That one misses wide. One 0 pitch to Holligan. Wow, Brennan pulling the string on that one, and Josh Lopez, you could see he motioned to his dugout. He thought that ball was going to stay up. It cuts low and away from him with plenty of bite. Lopez is already grounded into a double play this afternoon as well, and that would be just what Post needs right here. Gets him uncomfortable as that one cuts inside on him. And you can see Lopez asking for confirmation with the ump telling him no, that would have been a ball. And so Lopez upset at himself for offering it that one. Holligan another chance to put Lopez down on strikes. 1-2 pitch. Oh, look at that breaking ball. Are you kidding me, Brennan Holligan? We just saw him through a fastball in the mid-90s in the last at-bat, and that one came in, I think, somewhere in the 60s. All Lopez could do was get locked on it. A huge strikeout. The 4th of the afternoon for Holligan, his 2nd strikeout looking. And now Marquise Wood has to save the day here for the Rams in the top of the 5th. Holligan at 63 pitches now. Only 40 pitches thrown since the end of the first inning. And another one over the plate here. He has been peppering the strike zone this afternoon. 43 of his 63 pitches for strikes. That one's off to even the count out at 1-1. What a game to forget in game number 1. He walked twice, but he grounded out once and then struck out his other 2 ABs. He's walked in his first at-bat, popped out in his second, and I think, as it relates to Jefferson University's lineup, yes, he is the only player today for Jeff U who is yet to record a base hit. Breaking ball comes in, and I was worried that I just gave the worst broadcaster jinx of all time. Instead, that one's off the inside corner of the plate, and Wood puts himself in front in the count, 2-1. Holligan gets his sign, looking confident up there. Runner on at first is McLean. That one was kind of pulled out of the hand all the way. And a hitter count coming up here for Marquise Wood. 3-1. 3rd on the team in slugging percentage. 5th on the team in on-base percentage. Leads the team in RBI with 44, and he's trying to get himself another one there. A little early, fouls it back. Holligan 1 strike away from getting out of the inning again. Post dugout really making some noise. The fans here at Municipal Stadium as this game, just like game number 1, is kind of, I'm not really fallen into a lull, but has just featured great pitching over these middle innings. Everybody back into it here. 3-2 pitch to Wood. Late swing, popped up, out of play, and we'll do it again. Holligan quickly gets his sign back on the bump. 3-2 coming. Lashed at. Tough play for Cornwell. He stays down on it. Throw over to first, and Corchado puts the squeeze on it. Holligan with plenty of pep in his step as he hops off the pitcher's mound. He's thrown almost 3 straight immaculate innings. Just one hit across the last 3. We head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Post, they still need some offense as well. Let's see if they can break through the maze of Sean Morgan here in the bottom of the 5th. It's Rams 3, Eagles 2. More right after this on the Nest Network. Bottom of the 5th inning here at Municipal Stadium, and it's Evan Cornwell leading it off for the Eagles. They'll go 2-3-4 as they try and break through the maze here of Sean Morgan on the mound. Morgan has allowed 2 runs on 4 hits. He's walked 2 and struck out 4. Holligan, 3 runs on 4 hits, walked 1 and struck out 4. Morgan with a chance for another put away here against Cornwell, and he spoils that one well off the plate. Cornwell with 1 hit so far on the day. He singled back in that big 8th inning rally for Post University, but at that time it was too little, too late for the Eagles. They were able to score 4 runs. That was after Jefferson U scored 9. So Cornwell evens himself back out in the count at 2-2. You have Corchado waiting in the on-deck circle, who's 0 for 1 today. Karen, amidst a big day, is behind him, and there's a strikeout. I mentioned Evan Cornwell. He does everything so well, but he does have a problem with strikeouts. That's 2 today. He now leads the Eagles up to 26 on the season. And Morgan, as great as Holligan's rolling along right now, the Rams have something just as good in the form of this lefty. 2-2 on the season, but a 6.82 ERA. That's sure to drop here on the pace he's going, unless the Eagles can get busy on him here in the 5th or maybe the 6th inning. He has thrown more pitches than Brennan Holligan. Holligan is through 5 innings with 68 pitches. Morgan started this inning with 73. So that's 1-1. And with Cornwell, that means 79 pitches. So this is the 80th coming up here for a guy who splits his appearances with starts, but he's only pitched about 30 innings so far on the season. So we don't know how much gas Sean Morgan has in the tank. That one comes in and catches the outside corner. And Corchado, he gave a look back to the umpire, but he knew he was cooked. That pitch had him locked. Going for his fourth strikeout today. Oh, and now Morgan shows off the defensive prowess, robbing Corchado and kind of taking that extra victory lap on the run over to first base. Two big batters retired to get the bottom of the fifth started, and now it's going to be up to DJ Karen to keep the Magic alive. My apologies. That's the second time I've done that today. The 4-hole hitter is due up, not the 5-hole hitter. That's math, and it's Jimmy Brennan, the cleanup spot for the Eagles. Brennan 0 for 1 today. He hit a sac fly in the bottom of the first. He grounded out to third his last time up, and that was just a beautiful play there at the hot corner by Justin Egner. Morgan gets his sign, comes set. 1-1 pitch. Hard shot. Silva had him shaded perfectly. We've seen Silva much closer to second base. He was deep in the hole there, and he gets Brennan by a step. So Sean Morgan picked right up where he left off, and it's a 1-2-3 inning. Blink and you would have missed it, but folks, we're headed to the sixth. Game number 2 here at Municipal Stadium. Sixth inning coming up. More hopefully from Brendan Holligan, and the Rams still lead 3-2. We're back here at Municipal Stadium, headed into the top of the sixth inning. It felt like we were just in the second, but both of these pitchers settling in, cruising right along. We'll take a look at both of their lines so far now. Both pitchers through 5 innings of work. Sean Morgan on 82 pitches, 4 hits. He's allowed 2 runs, both of them earned. He's walked 2 but struck out 4. Almost identical numbers for Holligan on 68 pitches, 3 runs. All 3 of them earned on 5 hits, and similarly, he's walked 2 and struck out 4. But what's been nice about this game is the pacing of this. We were well ahead of schedule on that game that started at noon for game number 1. It didn't end until 3:20. This game started at 3:45. It's 5:08, and we're already in the top of the 6th inning. And Holligan, let's see how the middle of the order treats him. It's a first pitch swing, and there you go, a first pitch out as it's read beautifully by Danny Gill. I was just going to mention that Joshua Lopez has been having the best day offensively of any player on this diamond. He was 4 of 7 going into that at bat. Puts good contact to it, but right at Danny Gill. And another batter retired. Gabe Silva back up now. So save for that one walk to Chris McLean that we had back in the top of the 5th inning. Up until that point, Brendan Holligan had retired 10 straight batters. He's now retired 4 more in a row. So 16 of the last 17 batters retired, and no hits in there, just 1 walk. Gabe Silva up here for his 3rd at-bat of the afternoon. Oh, big looping breaking ball there from Holligan. Catches the outside corner, and so we've seen him mix in plenty. He sat down Justin Egner with a very impressive breaking ball back in the top of the 5th. Can't get Gabe Silva to chase after that one, and so we'll do it again here. Now, I mentioned Silva, a phenomenal contact hitter, 340 in the dish on the season, and a 456 on-base percentage. But he still has a problem with the strikeout for someone who doesn't play every day like some of his other teammates. He's up to 20 now on the campaign. Can Holligan get him here? 2 straight balls, has the count full at 3-2. Silva waiting. Holligan delivering. Catches the inside corner. The umpire gave him a little bit of a double take there, and then he rings him up. It is the 5th strikeout of the afternoon for Brennan Holligan, and his 3rd strikeout looking. Diego Santiago, one of those players who fell victim to a looking strikeout. Folks, Brennan Holligan has retired 17 of the last 18 batters in this contest. Santiago, though, he's a threat down there in the 7-hole of the order. First pitch swinging, and he fouls it out of play. Santiago came into action for game number 2 with a .326 average, 15 hits in 46 ABs. That's only higher now as he's 1 for 2 today. But that strikeout couldn't have come at a better time for Holligan, and now he gets Santiago to foul this one off. An opportunity to strike out the senior out of Moca, Puerto Rico for the 2nd time in this contest. Can Holligan do it again? 0-2. Weak swing. Grounded softly to Cornwell. He fields it off the high hop, throws it wide. It was a nice play to keep the ball in front of him from Cornwell, but that is going to be another error on the throw for the shortstop. Hate to see it, as that would have gotten the Eagles out of trouble and into the bottom of the 6th. Instead, you have a very capable hitter in Alex Gonzalez up for the Rams. Here's Gonzalez. All of a sudden, that just opens the door ever so slightly, and you're worried because that was really what it took back in extra innings. It was this man, Alex Gonzalez, that hit a bloop single to right field, and he advanced after a ground out. At one point in the top of the 8th inning, there was a runner on second but 1 out, and then Bird tried to pick off Gonzalez at second. That led to the error that opened the floodgates and allowed the 9-run inning. Can Gonzalez do the same thing for the Rams 2 games in a row? That one does catch the outside corner. That's a big strike for Holligan as he was behind the count 2-0. He gets one back now, 2-1. After Gonzalez, it's the 9-hole hitter, the center fielder, Jordan Tibercio, and then the Rams will turn it over. 2-1 pitch. That must have missed low. It was right there. Gonzalez, he'll take it as he has himself a hitter's count now, 3-1. Gonzalez slight of frame, but he does have a home run, 12 RBIs, and 8 extra base hits on the season. Keeps the bat on his shoulder there, and the count full now, 3-2. Holligan trying for his 6th K of the afternoon. He's up to 40 now on the season with his 5 already. Full count pitch coming to Gonzalez. Runner goes, swing and a miss, and it's held on to by Brennan. Strikeout number 6 for Brennan Holligan. He is as dialed in as you can be, and now it's time for the Eagles offense to give him some support. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th inning here. It's crunch time all of a sudden at Municipal Stadium. The score remains the Jefferson University Rams 3, the Post University Eagles 2. More right after this on the Nest Network. Welcome back into Municipal Stadium. My name is Chris Del Sordo. You are watching Post-University Baseball on the Nest Network. And this game is following a strikingly similar blueprint to game number 1. That was a 13-8 win by Jefferson U in 8 innings because we were tied 4-4 through 7. And then the offenses erupted. Jefferson U went first. They got 9 runs on 7 hits in that 8th inning. Post answered with 4 on 5, but by that point, the damage was done. DJ Karen in the box, and he's quickly behind in the count to Sean Morgan, 0-2. Morgan's in his junior season, and if outings like this don't send him into the rotation as an everyday starter next year, I don't know what will. Slap shot Karen, but it's covered by Silva, long throw, and the scoop not made by McLean, and it goes out of play. So a double win right there. Silva, that was a tough play, but the throw not where it needed to be for McLean, and it skips out of play. How about that for the Post Eagles? It's an error, so if the run scores, it'll be unearned, but you don't ask how, you just ask what. And what is now that the Eagles, in the bottom of the 6th, have the tying run on its second and the go-ahead run at bat in the form of Justin Rivera. Oh, this one gets out in front of Santiago. The count goes even at 1-1, but good hustle there from the senior catcher to cover that one up and not let Karen take third. So that's going to go down as a reach on error, and then an additional base will be taken with the ball going out of play. So Gabe Silva, just like Evan Cornwall, does have a pair of errors this afternoon. That ball misses inside now, and Justin Rivera finds himself in a hitter's count. Rivera 1 for 2 today. He went in game 2. He went 2 for 4 in game 1, so he's sitting at 500. He came in today hitting 286, so expect a little bloom there in those numbers. Play by Santiago, and he tried to get the throw into third, but he slips. You can see those cleat marks from behind where I'm at. That was a tough break for Santiago, as it would have been a bang-bang throw. Karen's speedy, but he had a chance, but he lost his footing on the throw, and so now DJ Karen, the game's tying run, just 90 feet away from home. And a 3-1 pitch coming here to Rivera. Morgan from the stretch, and he bounces it in. It takes a hard hop off the backstop, but Karen scores standing up, and we are knotted at 3 apiece. We were wondering if the magic was going to run out on Sean Morgan, and this is the toughest break of them all. A runner reaches on an error. It's a 2-base error. Then one, not really any sort of error, but just a misplay by the catcher, and then he throws a wild pitch, and oh my goodness, we are tied at 3 apiece. And a pinch runner coming in here for Justin Rivera. So Rivera walks, runs scores on the wild pitch, and now it's Jalen Kelly with the speedster runner, John Onofrio, on at first base. Jalen Kelly with a chance to give the Eagles a lead here, or just keep this all of a sudden rally that we didn't see coming, keep it rolling. There is action in the Jeff U bullpen, but it's not as if a pitcher is warming up. There's just a pitcher waiting to start his warm-up here. So they're going to keep it with Sean Morgan. Here's an opportunity for Kelly. He doubled off the wall his last time up. This is a huge park, and the wind is blowing. It's blowing balls down to left. It's helping balls out to right. That one was to dead center field. If there was a wind blowing out here, that one's probably gone off the bat of Kelly. But one of the only players that has barreled up Sean Morgan since the first inning. And he has a huge opportunity here to provide some more damage. Taking a look at Onofrio's numbers, he's 1 for 1 in stolen bases on the season. This is his 24th game played. He does have 7 hits, one of them a double. I think the Eagles are making a substitution here. They're pulling Jalen Kelly from this contest as he walks back into the dugout. I'll be honest, folks, I didn't see this coming. It seemed like exactly what you wanted right now. Your righty against the lefty that he just took off the wall to center field. But instead, it's going to be number 34, the true catcher, Sean Cleary, coming into the contest. So I'm assuming with Kelly as the DH, I guess you might have the opportunity to swap him in potentially to third, as Rivera is out of the game with Onofrio pinch running for him. So we'll have to wait and see if that's what the Eagles decide to do, and maybe that would allow Kelly to bat again later on in the bottom of the seventh if we get there. But they're clearly trying to execute this bunt situation here, and I guess in their mind, Cleary, probably their best option to do that. He's ahead in the count now, 2-0. Third baseman Egner is so far in. He already started on the pitch at about 55 yards away from home. He was halfway to home plate by the time that pickoff throw was sent over by Morgan. Morgan's thrown 12 pitches now here, 13 now in this bottom of the sixth. He's yet to record an out. Once again, it was DJ Karen getting us started, reaching on a throwing error. The ball went out of play, so he took second. Then a misplay by Santiago on a pass ball lets him take third, and a wild pitch lets him score. Wow, Cleary did not need to offer at that baseball right there, and instead now he's behind in the count 1-2. I credit to the Eagles for staying committed to this bunt plan. Egner is almost inside the jersey of Cleary. He'll show bunt again. I don't know if that's truly the plan here with 2 strikes, but it forces another throw over for Morgan. They're very worried about John Onofrio. He's only stolen 1 base on the season. That one is touched up at the last second by Diego Santiago to make sure it didn't roll back into fair territory. He's had kind of a quiet afternoon until this 6th inning, and now the ball just seems attached to him. That will be a strikeout on the foul bunt with 2 strikes. And so Cleary, you hope you don't regret that decision to take Jalen Kelly out of the batter's box and try and go the bunt route. Because Kelly came into this game hitting .324, and you have a hitter right now in Hunter Keller that came into this game hitting .200. And the scenario is the same, runner at first and now 1 out. That one misses outside, so Keller gets started ahead in the count now 0-1. You can hear the dugout for Post telling him, think right side right now. And yes, there is a huge hole there on the second base side of the field. Instead, Keller gives it a monstrous swing. Santiago throws the mask, dives out, and he makes the catch right in front of the front corner of that Post dugout. I tell you what, hindsight is 20/20, but already you have to think there's some fans in the stands here, maybe some players in that dugout, questioning the decision to try and bunt the runner over with no outs because he's still there, Onofrio at first, and now you have Danny Gill. The last gasp here for Post in the bottom of the 6th. Now, they did tie it up. We're knotted at 3 apiece. Gill tries to lay the bunt down. He lays down a good one, but pulls it foul. Gill with a couple of tough defensive plays out in center field in game number 1. It saw him get moved to right field, and he's actually rewarded that decision with a couple of great plays defensively. And will he contribute offensively? Yes, he will. Danny Gill from down in the 9-hole laces one into left field, and the rally continues, and it's just who you want to see back up at the top of the order in Michael Pavelchak. Just the 5th hit of the contest for Post University. And this is not the manager, Pat Horvath. This is the pitching coach, Abraham Almonte. headed to the mound here. But that will do it for Sean Morgan. So it looks like Jefferson University going to try and go situational baseball here. They're pulling the lefty-on-lefty matchup in favor of the big right-hander, the grad student, number 36, Anthony Polari. 13 innings pitched. This will be his 12th appearance on the season. A bit of a closing-type pitcher is Polari. He has a 4.85 ERA, but he struck out 14 batters in 13 innings of work. We'll let him get warmed up, and we'll come right back here. Big moment in the bottom of the 6th inning, tied 3-3. We're back here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Runner in scoring position for Michael Pavlicek, and it's our first look at the grad student, Anthony Polari. He comes in spelling Sean Morgan after 5 2/3 innings of work. He allows 3 runs on 4 hits, 2 errors behind it. Oh, big off-speed pitch there has Pavlicek out in front. It's the pinch runner, John Onofrio, on at second. Danny Gill on at first after he just laced a single in the left field for his second hit of the afternoon, his first in game 2. And what a clutch time it might be for the California resident celebrating his senior day. Pilar tries to mix in a breaking ball there in front of Pavlicek. Misses low, and so Michael P. ahead in the count now, 2-1. If Pavlicek reaches safely, it's Evan Cornwell, who is 0 for 2 today with a walk and 2 strikeouts. 2-1 pitch. On its way from Polari. Misses low as it was Santiago trying to frame it back up and in. Doesn't get the call here. And a huge moment in this baseball game. If Pavlicek reaches safely, you realistically could maybe see another run come in on a wild pitch. 3-1 pitch coming. Pavlicek keeps the bat on his shoulder and draws the walk on 5 pitches. So post, it's been a lot of straightforward offense. Big bopping, station-to-station baseball, extra base hits. No, it's the small ball, the little things that have post now threatening to take this lead here in the bottom of the 6th. Folks, remember, 2 7-inning games this afternoon. Wow, so if Post can get a run here, Brendan Holligan, realistic chance to see the light at the end of the tunnel. First pitch to Cornwell, and he keeps the bat on his shoulder. Polari having some trouble finding the strike zone here. He's thrown 6 pitches, 5 of them for balls. Cornwell waits. Polari from the stretch. Breaking ball. That one misses up and in. And you can hear the Post dugout the first time today that they've been the decidedly louder of the 2 dugouts. We've heard Jefferson make plenty of noise. Now the Eagles getting involved. 2-0, Cornwell ahead in the count. 3-0. Nope. Not sure. Not sure where that one could have been a strike, as you can hear from the dugout, no way. But they'll give Polari one back. And this game's been close all afternoon long. So we're going to keep it that way. So forget the thought of an auto take. It's 2-1. Cornwell swinging, and that one came in with some gusto. Blown past Cornwell to even the count out at 2-2. Evan, a .323 hitter, 9 doubles on the season. He does have a home run. His first 3 ABs against Morgan, all right-handed against the lefty. This gets him in his more comfortable lefty slot. 2-2 pitch. Fastball grounded into the hole. Runner scores in an Offrio. They wave Gill. He comes up and scores standing. And it's Evan Cornwell, his first hit of the afternoon at such a clutch time. The Eagles, 3 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning, and they're up 5-3. Oh, he barely got any bat on that baseball, but puts it on the ground, just enough momentum. There was a pretty big hole there between Gonzalez and McLean, and it is a 2 RBI single for Evan Cornwell. Clutch. He's now 1 for 3 today. He has 2 strikeouts, but those aren't going to be as tough to look at next to that big 2 RBI single. Chris Corchado up here, and the count is back even at 1-1. 3 runs here for the post-University Eagles in the bottom of the 6th inning off of just 2 hits. A Danny Gill single, an Evan Cornwell single. Gill has come around to score. That one misses low, and so now Corchado ahead in the count 2-1, and with every ball thrown by Pilari, this post-University dugout gets that much louder. That one is on the outside corner there. Two-two pitch on its way to Corchado. He fouls that one off at the last second down off of his toe, and so we will do it again. Jimmy Brennan in the on-deck circle, wearing his catcher's gear right now. It's always that tough battle when you're the catcher in the on-deck circle. You know you want to bat, but do you really want to take off all the equipment and put it back on again? I'm sure he's rooting for Corchado to reach base safely here. 2-2 pitch coming from Pilari, ripped right at the second baseman. Gonzalez, he turns and takes the easy out to Silva at second. But what a clutch time for the offense to come alive, and they score 3 runs on just 2 hits. Have to think it's going to be Brendan Holligan trying to close out his complete game here. We'll be right back to find out. Top of the 7th coming up next on the Nest Network. Jordan Tibercio leading it off for the Rams here in the top of the 7th. The last hope comes in the form of 2 freshmen and a sophomore. Tibercio, the 9-hole hitter. Egner, the 1-hole hitter. McLean in the 2 spot. He's the sophomore. Those are the 3 batters up here to try and save the afternoon for Jeff Yu. Brendan Holligan spinning a beauty right now. It only took him 84 pitches to get through 6 innings, and that was after a 23-pitch inning number 1, and he gets Ty Burcio well out in front of that one. Holligan has allowed 3 runs. They've all been earned on 5 hits. He's walked 2 and struck out 6. Pilari finally records that final out on 15 pitches. He throws 9 balls and 6 strikes. Both of the runs scoring on the Cornwall hit accredited to Morgan and Holligan. Oh, baby, he is locked in now. Another battercade. He gets Ty Burcio swinging. 7 strikeouts now on the afternoon. And what's more impressive than that, he has struck out 3 of the last 4 and 5 of the last 9 batters in this contest. Back to the top of the order. And what does Justin Egner have in mind? Well, he's staring at that one right over the middle. This is just what the doctor ordered for Post University. A close game that they very well could have and maybe in some eyes should have won in game number 1. It all fell apart with the bullpen and not being able to keep Matt Seaman going further into his outing. This time, you just give the ball to Brendan Holligan and let him eat. This one's lifted lazily to right. Gill to his left makes the catch, and the Rams are down to their final batter. If the results do hold here and Post and Jeff Yu split this doubleheader, well, they'll both be sitting pretty in CACC standings still. They both have some room amongst the competition behind them. It all comes down to the sophomore first baseman out of Hatfield, Pennsylvania, Chris McLean, and he stares at a beauty. Holligan has just gotten better as this game has gone on now. So much movement on these breaking pitches. And now everything he throws is untouchable. Here come the Rams down to their final strike. Could this be a huge moment for the Eagles on their senior day? They're going to turn to the junior out of Las Vegas to try and get it done. The 0-2 pitch to McLean. Pulls it wide. Brennan tried to get the frame job there. They don't give it to him. So we'll do it again with a count 1-2. McLean does everything well. A .352 hitter, a .640 slugging percentage. He has struck out 26 times. And that extends the game. The second hit batter of the afternoon for Holligan. And now you're nowhere near out of trouble because guess who is stalking his way to the batter's box? No other than Josh Lopez. Well, folks, if you like drama, we have some for you right here. Josh Lopez, 1 of 8 in 8 at-bats this afternoon. His one hit, he hit about a mile into the woods in left field in the 8th inning, a 3-run home run, his 17th of the season. You know the stakes. He's the tying run. First pitch from Holligan, 2-seamer, misses high. Lopez figuratively and literally spits on that pitch. It was a great take from him, and he's up head in the count 1-0. No real lead for McLean. You can't risk a pickoff here as he is getting held on from Corchado. That one does dot the inside corner. I think it was just a bit lower than the first pitch. Lopez wasn't too thrilled with it, but doesn't show all that much emotion, and he's right back ready to go in the batter's box with us even at 1-1. Holligan throws back. Well, I mean, McLean was probably a step and a half off the base. He even, you could tell in his body language, was communicating, I'm not going to run here. Holligan keeps him honest, and we'll do it again with the count at 1-1. Lopez waits. Holligan delivers. He pulls that one wide, and the count now 2-1. If Lopez reaches safely, you have another dangerous hitter in Marquise Wood waiting to come up for the Rams. Wood still hitless. The only player for Jefferson across both games of this doubleheader without a hit. That one misses high. And now have to be extra careful here with Josh Lopez. 3-1. That's that classic hitter's count. He worked the count full on Anthony Galvin before taking, or Alexander Galvin, my apologies, Alexander, before taking him deep to left field. Here's the 3-1 pitch, a huge swing. He was trying for it, comes up empty, and here we go. Full count pitch coming up here. The Eagles dugout relaying the signs, making some noise. The crowd looks like they're getting actually kind of chilly out there. Not too much emotion in the crowd, but we have some clapping here in the press box. Holligan looking to put this one away. 3-2 pitch to Lopez. Breaking ball, weighted on and hammered into center field. And so Lopez proves to you why he's such a dangerous hitter. All he saw was two-seam fastballs for 5 pitches in a row, and he's able to read that curveball out of the hand of Holligan and slam it back up the middle. And now, not the tying run, but the go-ahead run at home in the form of Marquise Wood. Pinch runner, coming in for Lopez is going to be Nick Squazzo, a senior outfielder from Haddon Township, New Jersey. Squazzo, 1 for 5 in his 5 at-bats on the season with a 200 average. Speedy runner. No stolen bases yet on the season, but they got a capable base runner out there. Here's Marquise Wood, needing desperately for both his sake and his team's sake to turn this afternoon around. Still hitless now. In 8 at-bats, 8 plate appearances, Now, he has drawn 3 walks, so he's technically 0 for 5. But 0 for 5 with 3 walks and a strikeout. He was plunked by Matt Seaman earlier back in game number 1. 1-1 pitch on its way to Wood. Catches the inside corner there. It looked like the umpire was waiting to call it high, and then some influence maybe from the post dugout, but he gives the inside strike. Wood, not a fan. And here we go. Count 1-2. Another chance for Brennan Holligan to put this game on ice. Wood ready. Holligan ready. The 1-2 pitch, swung on and missed, struck him out. The 8th strikeout of the afternoon, and these teams probably both did deserve a win this afternoon. Post University takes game number 2 of this doubleheader by a final score of 5-3. With the loss, Jefferson U moves to 25 and 13 overall on the season, and they fall to 12-6 in the CACC. That still has them a game and a half ahead of Wilmington U and Goldie Beacom in the CACC South. The win moves Post to 22-19 and 14-6 in the CACC North. Brennan Holligan, a complete game gem. He allows 3 runs on 4 hits, but he strikes out 8 batters. And how about this? Maybe the most impressive part of this game. 23 pitches in the first inning. 68 across the remaining 6. He just got dialed in, and he carries the Eagles across the finish line for their 22nd win of the year. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back with more after this, but the Eagles win 5-3. Ready. There we go. Thanks, guys. All right, I am joined here with the two players taking the Eagles across the finish line for this 5-3 win. We have Evan Cornwell, Brennan Holligan here. And Brennan, let me get it started with you. That first inning had to labor a little bit, 23 pitches to get you out of trouble, and then you cruised across the next 6. Just 61 pitches, you got 8 strikeouts across those next 6 innings. Did anything change, or was it just kind of getting through the first that locked you back in?
Yeah, 100%. So ultimately, early on, I had my heater all game, but I didn't have my off speed early on. But after those runs scored, after a couple innings, I found the slider curveball, and it became rest history.
Did you find yourself calling your own number in that regard, going with the slider curve? When something like that happens, when a pitch kind of gets better over the course of the game, is that you initiating that to kind of keep it going? Because we saw you were getting a lot of Ks with that breaking ball.
Yes, sir. So ultimately, I mean, it was just so pre-game catcher was working on slider, working on curveball. Jimmy helped me behind the plate. I mean, early on, he saw I didn't have my slider, so he switched up the curveball, had the curveball, and worked out. So
you had it indeed, man. Now, Evan, big moment for you there with that 2 RBI single in the bottom of the 6th inning. 2 batters before you came up, they switch the pitcher. They go from the lefty Morgan, had your struggles against him, but they bring in the righty Pilari. Were you thinking about that? Okay, I get to bat lefty now when I get up to the plate. Is that something that enters your mind in a situation like that?
I mean, yeah, for sure. A couple at bats earlier in the game. I wasn't seeing it too great from their left-handed pitcher, so getting up lefty felt good. Yeah, just try to take advantage of it.
And it didn't do too much with it, just a nice ground ball through the hole there. Was that your approach? What are you looking at in a situation like that, knowing that if I just get one past these guys, we take the lead in the contest?
Yeah, honestly, just keep it simple. Look for my pitch. I had 2 strikes there, so I had to protect and get it in play. Good things happen, like we talk about as a team, so yeah.
Good stuff. And so now talking about this Game 2 win, it couldn't have come at a better time, and you guys will talk about this. We will as well. It's huge in the conference standings, getting that extra 13th win. The reality is you just survived kind of the toughest 8th inning imaginable in Game 1, and then you have a game starting again 25 minutes later. I know it's probably different for both of you, but I'll ask both of you, how were you guys able to kind of weather that storm and then forget game number 1 moving on to Game 2?
So in the sport we play, you kind of just got to – anything can happen on any day, any game. So you kind of just had to erase the first game and attack Game 2, task at hand.
Yeah.
And that's the mindset.
Like we said, just turn the page, eat a sandwich, get some food in you, and get going for Game 2.
I love that. Just keeping it simple, right? And so last question, right? 22-19 now, but 13-6 in conference play, and you do have those 3 wins built into the schedule against Bloomfield here. Is it safe to say that your guys' vision is now kind of changed to taking care of business and winning the CACC North at this point in the season?
Yes,
We've
sir.
always thought
Yes,
that,
sir.
yeah.
100%. That's been the plan the whole ride. So we're sticking to it.
Well, there you go. A confident bunch. And how can you not blame these two after the performance right there down the stretch? A 5-3 win. Post is 22-19. Evan Cornwell, Brendan Holligan. Guys, thanks so much for joining us on the Nest Network. Go enjoy this one with your teammates, guys. We are final here at Municipal Stadium. The Eagles split 2 games in the doubleheader, but what a huge win it is, 5-3 in game number 2. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. My name is Chris Del Sordo. For everyone, it's down to 3 people here, but for Mike, Kristen, and Jack in the press box, thank you for hanging out with us. We'll see you again. Remember, you can watch Post University Sports live online on youtube.com at Go Post Eagles and on the CACC network. Have a great day.